On nights like this, we don't drink alcohol. We just drink Dr. Pepper and we drink water. We got a lot to talk about here, guys. uh, I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes before we get started. Thank you to everybody who's already in here. Um, Make sure to Hulk smash the like button. Please subscribe. Share this stream out. Share the channel. Tell people about Suns Geek because I would really appreciate it. Um, Big shout out to David Ray who's in here. Big shout out to my boy Coda Kid, longtime subscriber of mine. Um, just thank you to everybody who's in here. I appreciate it. We're gonna get started here in a minute. Lots to talk about here. I'm gonna try to stay as positive as I possibly can, but that's gonna be tough because I mean, look, let's be real, guys. I mean, we're still in the lead of the series, but if game 4 is anything like game 3 was, we might be in trouble. But I am going to talk about that later. I'm going to talk about why I'm not too concerned, but I also I'm going to kind of let the Suns have it. And I think rightfully so, guys. I think they kind of deserve to have a little criticism come their way. So if that's not really your thing, if you're not here for any negativity, then I hate to say this, probably leave now because there's going to be a lot of negativity in this. I'm sorry, but you know. All righty, you guys. So let's do this. All right. So Phoenix Suns get absolutely trounced by the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. 120. What was it, to 100? I was kind of tuned out throughout, the end of the fourth quarter. Let's start off with the first quarter, you guys. Let's try to start this off positive, with some positive. I thought at the start of the first, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton looked great. DeAndre Ayton had 10 points in 7 minutes. Chris Paul was just being Chris Paul, which was great. I thought the Suns defense was good, but the Suns just looked a little, I don't know if like timid is the word. I don't know if like slow is the word. Just something didn't look right with the Suns really offensively in the first quarter. But with that being said, I think they were in the lead at the end of the first quarter. I know they were leading by halftime. If I remember, no, not leading by halftime. They're leading by the end of the third quarter, or first quarter. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But it was really the Bucks side of things, you guys. They came out with a ton of energy. Chris Middleton was actually hitting shots. They were hitting threes. The crowd in Milwaukee was awesome, as to be expected. But yet the Suns, they kept, really in the first quarter, they kept the game kind of close. Every time the Bucks would go on the run, the Suns were still in it. So I wasn't too worried. But then Devin Booker goes 1 for 7 in 10 minutes, and he only had 5 points. And a lot of his shots were very makeable. He had a lot of, I guess, kind of good looks, but at the same time, there were just so many possessions where I thought he held the ball too long, or he just got trapped, or the defense was just too good. And he just didn't look like himself. And it was when you, and here's the thing, I guess in game 2, he started off kind of similar to how he started off tonight, but tonight just felt different for him. So at the end of the first quarter, 28-25, DeAndre Ayton had 12 points, 3 rebounds. Chris Paul had 6 and 3, but Giannis at the end of the first quarter had 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. The Suns scored 8 in a row to start the second quarter, which is good. They seemed like they kind of woke up a little bit at the start of the second. And I'm going to go back to this kind of a lot. It was a 36-30 lead at the start of the second quarter. All of a sudden, the Suns go 2 for 10 from 3. They had 7 turnovers. Halftime, it's 60-45. And you could argue that the game is over. I'm sorry for the negativity, but it's true. I mean, Monty Williams they showed like some clips of him at halftime. He's like, we got outplayed. He said, we freaking got outplayed. And I could tell he was really getting into them. The Suns were shooting, somehow they were shooting 42% at halftime, but the Bucks were shooting 47% at halftime. They were killing us on the rebounding battle. They were out assisting us. They were dominating us in the paint. I don't even want to look at the final numbers, although I am going to look at the final numbers in a little bit. But here's where you could say the game really ended. The final 9 minutes of the third quarter. The final 9 minutes. The Suns had 9 points in 9 minutes. They had 3 turnovers, and they went 4 for 16 from the field. And they didn't hit a 3. I want to repeat that. Let me repeat that. The final 9 minutes of the third quarter, the Suns had 9 points and 3 turnovers. 4 for 16 from the field. So, and a lot of you are going to disagree with me here. This was not on Scott Foster. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I probably just had a lot of people leave and all that. Whatever. Criticize me if you want. Look, don't get me wrong. There was some really bad calls. Like when Giannis freaking trounced Jay Crowder. He just fucking ran into him like a football player. That was a bad call. And, you know, some people argue, oh, well, DeAndre Ayton got into foul trouble. Guys, this loss was not on Scott Foster. Yes, there were bad calls, but this was not on Scott Foster. We beat ourselves tonight. And you know what? I think this loss is actually good. I think the Suns are going to bounce back. They're going to look at the film. They got 2 days to do this. They got time to rest, practice, work on things that they can improve on. But man, I'm just saying, if you're one of those like true like NBA conspiracy people and you think that Scott Foster lost us this game and that was if you're so arrogant to think that that's the only reason we lost, then you clearly didn't watch this game. And I'm sorry, but Devin Booker, I mean, I love Devin Booker, but he was terrible tonight. Let's be real. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this as positive as I can, but our guys need to be held accountable, all of them. Even the players that played well tonight, and we're going to go over that too. This was a team loss, you guys. I'm sorry, but it was pretty bad. Shout out to my man Sawbucks here. Always in these live streams. Big time Suns fan. Says, I was hoping we would win game 3, but now game 4 is a must win for the Suns. I'm glad you brought that up, Sawbucks, because I do agree with you. Here's why I'm not like overly panicking. Game 4 is a must win because of just look at the circumstances. We're still up 2-1. And if we win game 3, we'll be up 3-1. And then we can close it out in 5 and win our first championship. But I get your point. Because again, if game 4 happens like game 3, who knows what's going to happen in game 5? Like if the Bucks come out like they did in game 4, like I might be a little nervous going into game 5. Just saying. We really got to defend the paint better, stop giving away easy fouls. Devin and Mikhail both had an off game. You guys don't want to hear my thoughts on Devin Booker. There's going to be a lot of people are going to defend him, and rightfully so. I'll kind of defend Devin Booker too, but I'm also going to let him have it. You know, he was bad. I just thought he played way too much, quote, hero ball. I thought that he was just taking way too many shots, and I get it. You can't hit every shot, and I get that the defense is going to swarm you, and you're going to have an off night here and there. I mean, Devin Booker's 24 years old, you know, in his first finals, et cetera, his first playoffs. But just some of the shots he was taking was just unnecessary. I remember, I think it was one of his final shots. He took it from like the right 3-point area, and Giannis just contested it, and Booker just kind of looked like it was a practice shot. I was pretty disappointed with Devin Booker tonight. You got to think maybe should he have just been driving it to the rim? You know, sometimes just the shot isn't going to go in, but we all know Devin Booker can get to the rim. We all know that he can shoot closer shots and make those nice mid-range. You know, he's one of the mid-range gods. He didn't do that tonight either. So we're already 10 minutes in. I'm ranting at this point. This doesn't even feel like a live stream. It just feels like a rant. So once again, you guys, Hulk smash that like button. share this stream, tell people about Sons of Geek. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and ask some questions. I'm running solo tonight. And I appreciate everybody that's in here. I appreciate everybody who is going to put up with my negativity tonight. But let's be real, guys. The Suns deserve some negativity coming their way. So that's just my opinion. Dylan says Bucks fans hoping Scott Foster refs every game. And I get it. I understand the whole conspiracy things because I think I saw that Stat Moose, which is a great account, by the way. Go follow them. I think they said, like, let me see if I can find it. Chris Paul's teams are 1-12 in the last 13 playoff games officiated by Scott Foster. And the one game that they did win was Chris Paul didn't play in. So Chris Paul is 1 for 13 against Scott Foster. So I get that conspiracy part of it. But guys, just rewatch game 3 tonight. NBA YouTube has it uploaded already. Just go watch it. This was not on Scott Foster. Just saying. That's how I'm standing by that. Olivia says, man, that was a tough loss, but I think we can all agree Cam's dunk was awesome. Yeah, that was one of the best dunks I've ever seen in my life. And I've been watching basketball for years, and I've studied the history of the game. And I'm serious. That was one of the best dunks I've ever seen in my life. That was Tom Chambers over Mark Jackson-esque. I'm serious. That dunk was incredible. And this is where I'll get a little positive. I don't know what I'm going to pull up the box score here in a minute, but Cam Johnson, I don't really remember how he played in the first 2 rounds. I'm sure he played okay, but in the Western Conference Finals, Cameron Johnson was like the unsung hero of that series. I didn't even really give him enough credit until I like realized what he was doing, started to pick up on it. I remember in that game 5 loss to the Clippers, he was like the only bright spot. And kind of in a way, you know, Ayton played great besides the foul trouble and all that, but Cam Johnson was another bright spot in just a terrible loss. This guy can play. I think the Suns front office, scouting team, coaches, when they drafted Cam Johnson, they saw something special. They saw that he was more than just a 3-point shooter. They saw that he was just more than a 6'8" wing with good size. I think that they saw his defense. I think that they saw his true basketball IQ. I think they love his personality and how smart he is, because I love listening to Cam Johnson in interviews. He's so smart and he really does have basketball IQ. By the way, he's going back to college to get his master's degree because he's a genius. I mean, he went to Pittsburgh 1 year and 4 years at North Carolina. So Cameron Johnson is my MVP tonight. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm just kind of reading the stats and all that. I promise I'll try to get caught up with the chat and all that. Thank you to everybody who's joining. So remember when I was going off about the final 9 minutes of the third quarter? You're probably like, okay, well, what did the Bucks do during that final 9 minutes of the third quarter? They had 30 points in 9 minutes. The Suns closed out, and they've struggled with this throughout the entire playoffs. They closed out that end of the third quarter terribly. I understand Ayton was in foul trouble, but I thought that he sat a little too long. I'm not real. I guess I could blame Monty for it, but I mean, I need a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I'm just saying, you guys, at halftime, you could argue the game was over, but the game was really over the final 9 minutes of the third quarter. But I will say this, there was a small stretch in the third quarter. It might have just been those 9 points where it kind of looked like we were gaining momentum, kind of looked like we were gaining steam, but then we just fell apart. And I did feel like we kind of opened up the second quarter pretty well, but it just didn't matter. Yeah, here we go. So the Suns had like 6 to 8. It was probably 9 points within like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. to start the third. But it was just really bad. It was, ugh. After that, I remember we were like stuck and we just couldn't get any shots going. Just an all around bad game. Also, you guys, the Bucks ended the third quarter on a 16-0 run, and Giannis had 30, 10, and 5 throughout 3 quarters. And I think, like, I forgot who he did it with. Also, you guys, Giannis ended the game joining Shaq in a great category. The only 2 NBA players to have 40-plus points, 10-plus rebounds in back-to-back finals games are Shaq and Giannis. I think Giannis reminded us why he's a 2-time MVP. And props to the Bucks, because other Bucks players showed up tonight. For example, Chris Middleton didn't really shoot the best. He was 6 for 14, but he had 18 points. Those 18 points were huge. I think the Suns' leading scorer tonight was Chris Paul, who had 19. So if that doesn't sum up the game, I don't know what does. Drew Holiday was fantastic. 5 threes, 8 for 14 from the field. Great defense, 9 assists, 21 points. And, you know, Bobby Portis didn't shoot well, but he had 11 points. Pat Connaughton had 8 points. And I remember he had a good game last time against us. So, all right, let's kind of get caught up on the chat here. I'm going to try to get to everybody. There's a lot of you guys in here and you're leaving comments and stuff, and I appreciate you. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 minute here. I'm going to get caught up in the comments. Suns didn't bring any energy and gave the Bucks too many second chance points. Exactly. Especially the energy part. That was kind of what I was saying about the first quarter. I was like, I thought our defense was good, but just everything else looked slow. There were so many like weird turnovers that the Suns had this game. Like I remember one, like Mikal Bridges was kind of trapped and he just kind of chucked the ball to whoever and it was a turnover. And I saw that a lot throughout the game. Ayton got called for too many fouls, which he avoided most other playoff games. I agree with that. By the way, you guys, this kind of goes back to the Scott Foster thing, but I think Giannis has been to the free throw line more than the entire Suns team this series. But at the same time, I know all the conspiracy people are going to still say it's on Scott Foster. My man Roy says, not a good game. Plain and simple. Exactly. It just was not a good game. 9 for 31 from 3, 68% from the free throw line. I'm glad you brought that up because we're a really good free throw shooting team. Even last year when we were in the bubble, we were a really good. I think we were the greatest free throw shooting team in NBA history last year. And this year we were great. 24 fouls, 14 turnovers. Bucks fans wish the Suns were really this bad. Everyone just had an off night, and DA with the fouls early. Exactly. That really sums it up. David Ray says, technical difficulties. I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked the wrong button on my mouse. I don't even know where I am now. I'm so lost. Give me 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. Sawbuck says, what are you talking about, Suns Geek? Devin Booker was the best player for the Bucks. Burn! Oh, man. We lost. Suns Geek, 100% we lost tonight, and Booker had a bad night, too, along with a couple other players. If a few of Foster's calls were bad, we could say that if it was a 2 to 3 point game, not 20 points. Exactly. Like, I can put up with bad officiating if the game is close. But the Suns didn't even make this game close. Maybe a few stretches here and there they responded back, but yeah, that was not the case tonight. Frank Kaminsky for Finals MVP. Yeah, by the way, I think I have a poll going right now. I'm going to check my live stream. I have a poll going for who do you guys think is the Finals MVP throughout 3 games. I'm going to check that right now, actually. See what people are saying. Okay, so right now, 5 hours ago, I posted that poll, 56 votes. 55% of you think Chris Paul deserves Finals MVP. 20% say Devin Booker. Actually, it just went down to 19%. DeAndre Ayton, 18%, and other 7%. So go ahead and vote on that poll of who you think the Finals MVP is throughout 3 games. Let me see. Low-key would love to see Jalen Smith given a chance to guard Giannis because he's a shot blocker, averaged 3 blocks in college. So to be honest, he's our only other paint defender. I get what you're saying, but I just don't know if Jalen Smith is ready. And I get it. You know, I really do like to watch Jalen Smith play, but this is the NBA Finals. I just can't see it happening. And that's nothing towards Jalen Smith. I'm sure that he works his ass off in practice. I'm sure that he's going to be a great player. Maybe down the road, I'll be eating my words and I'll be saying, we should have played Jalen Smith in the finals. But I just can't see it. And it sucks because I know that there's a lot of big Jalen Smith fans out there. But I get it. You know, you want to try to stop Giannis at all costs, especially, you know, with like Dario being out and with Ayton in foul trouble. You know, Frank Kaminsky can't get the job done, but, you know. Let's see here. My man Super Mario Hoops has been on the channel a couple of times. Book had a tough outing tonight. Game 4, he'll bounce back for sure. Yeah, I mean, Booker just had this look on his face like he was, I don't want to say Booker's face was disappointed, just that I think he knew that this was just a lost cause, and I think that he's really going to come back and bounce back. I think the whole Suns team is. I think this is literally kind of like that Clippers, like the Game 3 Clippers game and the Game 5, you know, against the Clippers. Those were like the 2 ass kickings that the Suns needed to win the series. I'm confident the Suns will be much better in Game 4, but the only concern I take from today is Crowder played so well, only in a losing effort. Yeah, I mean, you could say like, oh, save it for Game 4, Jay Crowder. I thought Jay Crowder was okay tonight. Let's look at the numbers. 33 minutes, 6 for 7 from the field, had 6 threes, 18 points, 6 rebounds. Excuse me. He did have 3 fouls, which one of those should have been taken away because Giannis fucking trampled into him. But yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I mean, Crowder's kind of had an up and down roller coaster playoff series and final series, but he was good tonight. He was good. Let me see here. I'm going to disagree with KK here, who said we're never good in the third quarter for some reason. I disagree with you. I actually think we're great in the third quarter. We've had some of the games that we have won all playoff series long. We've won in the third quarter. So I don't know if I agree with that. Okay. We're going to kind of get caught up on the chat here. Let's go kind of downwards. Crowder had a good game. Hope it transitions into Game 4. Exactly. You know, Jay Crowder was one of the bright spots here. Mikal Bridges, 27 minutes, 2 for 4 from the field, 4 points. Even if he is doing it defensively, which, by the way, he had 4 turnovers tonight, there are just some games where Mikal Bridges needs to get it going. Even if he puts up, like, I think Bridges is averaging like 13 points a game all season and throughout the playoffs. Even if Bridges just scores like 12, that 12 points could have been huge for us tonight. DeAndre Ayton, 24 minutes, 8 for 11 from the field, 18 points, 9 rebounds. I don't even remember what DeAndre Ayton did after halftime. Maybe that was because he was in foul trouble. Maybe they went away from him. Maybe he just stopped being. I don't know. You tell me what you saw from DeAndre Ayton, because he was great in the first half, especially in that first quarter. He was shooting so confidently. He was fantastic. My man Super Mario Hoop says, if it ain't each one more winning finals MVP, I'm calling it rigged. Exactly. Sticks, aka Jalen Smith, not for MVP, blasphemous. What's up, burner account? I missed you, man. You're like one of my favorite people in these live streams because you're so hilarious, man. Shot Chucker says we shouldn't see any more Frank minutes again this series. That's where it's like, I wonder if Monty's just putting him out there because Frank Kaminsky's tall and he has size. But yeah, Frank is pretty bad, man. And I love Frank Kaminsky, but he's pretty bad. Yeah, Young Mo says it perfectly. No excuse for Book today. I don't even want to read you Book's numbers, but I'm going to do it. 29 minutes. 3 for 14 from the field. 1 for 7 from 3, which I can forgive the 3-point shooting. Because let's be real. I mean, Booker, I don't know. I can forgive the 3-point shooting, but 3 for 14 from the field, Devin Booker. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 fouls, 1 turnover. And I'm not even like blaming this loss on Devin Booker, but he was a huge reason we lost. Just saying. Mark Jackson says we couldn't shoot worth crap, but the refs were bad also. It was called better in the first 2 games. I agree with that last part, but I still do not blame the referees for this game. Suns' highest scorer had 19 and DA had 16 in the first quarter, and it wasn't him. This won't happen again. That's where I'll get a little confident here because we're almost 30 minutes in and I've been really negative. We all know Devin Booker is going to bounce back. Let's just say Devin Booker has like 25 points next game. That's good enough, in my opinion, especially if it's a consistent, if the effort is there and if the effectiveness of those 25 points from Booker, or let's say he even gets like 27, that will be perfect. I think Chris Paul might need to be a little more dominant. Just saying. Ayton's got to stay out of foul trouble. You got to kind of wonder if, maybe Langston Galloway or Javon Carter needs to see some minutes. I'm not saying like Langston Galloway and Javon Carter are going to save us and win us a championship, but think about it. Like if Frank Kaminsky's not working out, I don't know, I feel like he's kind of played a little Abdel Nader too much. You got to just kind of wonder if maybe you need to kind of start poking the bear and maybe get some players out from the bench. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, but you guys get what I'm saying? If it like tonight with Booker, it clearly wasn't working, so they benched his ass. So it's like put somebody else in. And maybe that's what Monty Williams was trying to do. I don't know. Somebody brings up Torrey Craig, who I thought he looked good tonight. He had I think there was like a foul called. He had like this running dunk, and he looked completely healthy when he did that. Yeah. I mean, maybe you do have to go with Craig for backup center. I don't know. Or maybe if Ayton has 4 fouls, maybe you just got to trust him and leave him in there. I know that's always risky, but somebody's got to stop Giannis. I'm just saying. Just getting caught up on the chat here. Riley says, look, we're never going to be able to stop Giannis. We win by stopping Middleton and Holiday. Exactly. I don't care what Giannis does. I'll let Giannis get 40 and 20 and 10 all day. I don't care. Stop everybody else. And that was what I was saying about like Nikola Jokic and LeBron and even Paul George. I was like, let them get whatever the hell they want. Stop everybody else. Because again, guys, like I always look at the bench. You know, the Bucks bench wasn't great tonight, but you know, Bobby Portis had 11 points. Pat Connaughton had 8, and I think he had like 17 last game. And again, Drew Holiday was fantastic tonight. Chris Middleton was great despite 6 for 14 shooting. So let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the team stats here. Somehow the Suns shot better than the Bucks did and still lost by 20. That makes no sense. They were horrific from 3, 29%. The Suns were horrific from the free throw line. In all fairness, though, the Bucks shot 77% from 3, or excuse me, from free throw. Bucks out rebounded us 47-36. Suns somehow had 21 assists. I don't believe that, but they did. Bucks only had 28. We had 15 turnovers, 17 points off turnovers. They killed us in the paint 54-40, and the Suns had 24 fouls. Our largest lead of the game was 6. So, yeah. I just think it was just the way we closed certain quarters. Maybe we didn't play DeAndre Ayton enough. Maybe we went away from DeAndre Ayton. I thought Devin Booker was extremely selfish and just couldn't hit a shot to save his life. I don't know how much of this I don't even know if I want to blame Chris Paul, because it's Chris Paul we're talking about here. Bridges needs to get it going. Just tough loss, guys. Again, I'm not too concerned. Maybe if we're down like 15 at halftime of game 4, I'll probably be panicking. But I don't know, guys. Like what do I know? I know as much as you guys, but did want to take this opportunity to just read you guys some random stats and notes. You guys, I don't know if you guys are going to tune into this much, but I just kind of want to read you guys some notes here. And I want to talk about Chris Paul for like 1 minute. I was watching some stuff on Chris Paul, and in game 6 of the Western Conference Finals against the Clippers, Chris Paul in the last 13 minutes of game 6, he had 27 points. He was 10 for 12 from the field, which is 83%. 5 for 5 from 3. The Clippers during that stretch had 21 points, 7 for 22 from the field, 32%, and they only made 3 threes. I don't know why. Like I took that as like some notes because I might be doing like a video probably tomorrow or whatever the case may be. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, like Chris Paul is just, me calling him a Hall of Famer and saying he's incredible doesn't sum up Chris Paul's impact. And I guess that's kind of where, you know, like tonight he was 34 minutes, 8 for 14 from the field. So that's good shooting, but he only had 19 points and 9 assists, 4 turnovers. And just something didn't really seem right with Chris Paul. I don't know. Like, I thought he was good in the first quarter. And, you know, anytime he's out there, the Suns feel comfortable. You know, he's like literally our quarterback and he sets up our offense and great defender and all that. And I don't know. But that was a pretty damn dominant performance in game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Someone says, apparently counting while Giannis makes free throws works. Yeah, the Suns fans in the Bucks arena tried that, but it was pretty quiet every time he shot. And you know what? Props to Giannis, man. He 13 from 17 from the free throw line. I don't know, you guys. I'm just so... it was just one of those nights, guys. It was just like too good to be true. And you know what? This is the NBA Finals, you guys. Like, The Clippers didn't go away. Like, the Bucks aren't going to go away. You know, this is the NBA Finals. The Bucks are here for a reason. I think some people, like, there was people I was talking to and people that left comments on my videos. They were like, we're probably going to lose game 3. Like, I guess that was kind of the vibe. Like, sure, you want the Suns to win, but I just think a lot of people were like, yeah, we're going to lose game 3. It's just how it works. But guys, if we can win game 4, I'll be fucking going nuts on here. That's all I'm saying. So if you guys have any last minute questions, I've honestly talked about everything I want to talk about. I can read you some numbers and stats all day, but there's really not much else to talk about surrounding this game. So yeah, just go ahead, get your last few questions in. I'll start reading the chat right now. Hold on. Riley says, end of the day, Giannis will hopefully, please God, not shoot that well from the free throw line again. And Booker plus Bridges will not perform like that again. We got this. Exactly. That goes back to my point. Like, if Bridges would have at least had like 12, if Booker would have at least had 15 or more and was shooting more efficiently, this game would have been a different story. Don't take it too seriously. They're not intended to win. Believe me. Look at Booker, fourth quarter. He looks not worried. Seems he knows he would lose this game. I just burped. I'm sorry. Payne's shot selection has been questionable alongside his decision making throughout this series so far. I agree. Cameron Payne has been pretty bad. Tonight, 25 minutes, 3 for 10 from the field, 4 assists, 7 points. He was a negative 18 in the plus minus. So yeah, I agree. He just hasn't had that like effectiveness. He hasn't been like taking the ball to the basket, and he wasn't like the campaign that we saw in the Lakers series. Because if that Lakers series was like the NBA Finals, I'm not kidding here, campaign would have won Finals MVP. He was that good. So I don't know. My man Super Mario Hoops says, just an interesting stat. Suns had 9 assists, 6 turnovers in the first half, 1.5 ratio. Bucks had 18 assists, 2 turnovers in the first half, 9-point ratio. Thank you, Super Mario. I appreciate that. I'm going to remember that stat. Thank you. Suns beat themselves. Wide open shot. Amazing looks all night. Couldn't sink a basket. Not worried. Book is saving his energy to close them out in game 4, says Jimbo Slice. A burner account says, Geek, I didn't see you in the finals MVP voting. What gives? You've been carrying the Suns all season and you're a professor. I love you, Burner, man. You're the MVP, bro. Oh, man. Riley says, do you think the Suns should figure out what to do to prevent offensive boards or just keep relying on their offense and perimeter defense? Offensive rebounding for the Suns has been weird. I feel like we're a decent rebounding team. I think during the regular season, we were a middle of the pack team. And DeAndre Ayton's talked about that. He's talked about how he's got to really get those offensive rebounds, keep Brook Lopez off the boards. But like, I think I kind of agree with the last part of what you said. Just we do need to keep relying on our offense and our perimeter defense, because tonight, I don't know if we saw much of that. I don't know if we saw much of our defense leading to good offense and then vice versa. Like, this game was just strange. So that's a good question, Riley. I appreciate that. Nathan, who said 744 signatures to get my Al McCoy on ABC games, 5.23 to go to hit 1,000. I love Al McCoy. He's an absolute legend. I mean, if you don't believe me, he's on my wall. I'm pointing the wrong way, but he's on my wall. I love Al McCoy. Um, but unfortunately, you guys, and I'm all down to sign that and share it and stuff, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen, guys. I love Al McCoy. He deserves it. He deserves to be calling every NBA Finals game that the Suns have ever been in which he has. He's done. And I get it, like on national TV, he deserves to do it on ABC, but it's just not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. Just like, unfortunately, Jalen Smith is not going to see much minutes unless Monty just somehow believes in him at the right time. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound so negative, but after a loss like this, I think I have the right to be negative. So on that note, you guys, gonna end this. I'm gonna film my quote post-game reaction, which is just gonna be me ranting. But I did film some stuff before, and I filmed something at halftime. So literally, like maybe like in an hour or so, I'm gonna be uploading my little post-game reaction with some bonus footage. So check that out. Once again, you guys, I apologize for the negativity. Hulk smash the like button. Please subscribe. I'll probably be doing some videos about, everything. We'll read a couple more comments before we get out of here. Geek, why you got to break my heart like that? My Sticks heart. Our transition defense killed us alongside with our effort on the glass tonight. You're right. Booker was MIA today. Mark Jackson says, thank you, Brandon. You know what, Mark Jackson? Thank you, man. I mean, you've been watching for I don't know how long, and I always see you in the chats and stuff, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. You're sitting here listening to me rant, and even the people that are watching afterwards. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, we just passed 4,500 subscribers, which is insane. We're on the road to 5,000. Cannot believe it. And yeah. So on that note, Hulk smash the like button. Please subscribe for everything Phoenix Suns. If it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. And I'll see you guys next time.